Hi, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Andromeda Adventures for Endara the Second Age. Happy to have you join us today. Uh, so, first of all, we want to thank our wonderful Patreons, our producer Nick, and all of our friends over at Mythical Family, and all of you, our viewers. Thank you so much for watching. And guess what? RageCon's coming up pretty soon. It's pretty close here, the last week of June. But I'm going to, of course, pass the ball over to Kira to tell all of you a little bit more about RageCon because she's just so amazing at it.
Thank you, Frosty.
My pleasure.
RageCon 2023. Do you like TTRPGs? Do you like board games? Do you like card games? Are you one of those nerds that LARPs? This is a form of LARPing, kind of technically. Then you should come to RageCon, which is in Northern Nevada, June 30th to July 2nd, because I knew you do this and I had the website open. So it's coming up very soon in 14 days. Holy shit, it is coming up very soon. And if you're in the area, I don't mind making the trip. It's worth it. They're in their 8th year. There are hundreds and hundreds of events that you can sign up for. You can do everything from Pathfinder one-shots to trying out-of-print card games and board games, or brand new card games and board games. There's going to be a bunch of panels there. A bunch of us at Mythical Family are running 2 panels and a ton of games that you can sign up for and play. And a bunch of Andromeda Adventures are going to be there too. So please come and join us. It's going to be an awesome time.
All right. With that being said, a heads up. I think we're going to be trying to figure out a way to still have our Endara episode that week. However, due to everyone traveling and heading out to Reno, Nevada, we may not have an episode of Endara that week. So we'll let you know before it happens what our decision is. Uh, but depending on technical processes and if we can get all that figured out, we might not. Um, but yes, check out Kira as a GM for Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern on Sundays. And what time is that again? I can never remember. I think it's 7 p.m. Pacific, but
It is 7 p.m.
okay.
Yes.
Just never sounds right to me. My brain is just like, nope, the time is a construct. It is
Yep.
relative. But thank you, everyone. And look forward to seeing you at RageCon. Check out Mythical Family. And of course, you can check out past episodes on YouTube of ours. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your goldfish, and tell the bird mafia. Um, Garth knows about them. And with that, James, will you cue that intro? All right. As we pick up for this evening, Listora, will you catch the audience up on what happened last week?
Well, I will certainly try. Um, Last session began at our home. Garth, I believe, had returned um, from a lovely day out. Apparently, it seems with Cadoris. There was he told us when he came into the room with us that he had gotten kissed by Cadoris. I'm like, oh, on the cheeks and all that kind of stuff, and finally, after many sessions of will he, won't he, or understand what's going on, Garth finally realized that something was going on with Cadoris that was more on the romantic side. It was quite cute and very lovely. Um, After a bit talking about that, we went back to the palace and kind of settled in. I think it was my third or fourth bath that day. I really don't know. I lose track. And I believe Garth drank, but he always does. Most of the rest of us, I think, relaxed in our rooms. And in the morning, when breakfast came, I had an invitation. Um, as I was taking my bath that morning, um, and I said, try to get in touch with me, but I was obviously occupied. But once we did finally meet up, we all realized that Anais, myself, and Magnar had all been invited to meet with the Queen, but Garth and Hadrian had not. Um, Garth was understandably um, um, perhaps a bit um, upset by it, maybe a bit emotionally hurt, whereas Hadrian was angry, I think, upset by it, understandably so. Um, Garth and Hadrian went out. They had lunch together while we went and met with the Queen. Um, and um, I don't know what they talked about, but I believe it had something to do with Nylea and them sort of chatting up. So we met with the Queen. Um, it went fairly well, at least for the three of us who were able to go. I think there was we tried to figure out why the others weren't invited, and it seems she just didn't seem to like them very much, which um, which of course we didn't say to her face, but I believe we all felt was a bit something that didn't really make any of us happy. Um, and so basically Garth was an uncouth barbarian, and Hadrian was a bit rude to her when he first met her. So um, it was a bit awkward in that regard, and it was made a little bit more awkward by the fact that she thanked the three of us who were there and gave each of us a reward, um, quite nice one. I got a lovely flower that allowed me to gain some resistance to cold, which is always good when those chilly winter nights come around. And But yes, that was a bit upsetting. But after the rewards, we did get some guidance from her about some things we could do to um, help Amaris with the war with Wallachia that's coming up. Um, we we talked a bit about the how her guards had been killed by this Ulda blade, I think it was, and there was like some questions about whether or not the Wallachians were connected um, um, with Ulda, um, and in sort of in relation to that, to sort of see if we can go to Wallachia and maybe see if we could help prevent a war, um, to help find allies, and things like that. And of course, there's the broader thing with Godric and things like that. And it was also mentioned that we were trying to inquire a bit about Hadrian and things like that, and um, we thought maybe she might have some ideas on how to help Hadrian control the wing, and we did manage. And she offered to give us some medication that might help him. It was medication used to cure the plague, and Jill's house was mentioned, and the possibility of maybe we could go take a look at it, and without anybody paying much attention to us while we did so we could sneak in there and see if we can't find any answers. Anais was asked to resign as inquisitor during this sort of period, um, so yes, um, we've then met afterwards, touched base, talked a bit about some of the items that we wanted to maybe pursue next. Um, Maybe talking with Silco in Wallachia, who is the person we met previously, who he was involved in the ritual, and I believe he was the one we gave that one ring to, because he said he could do it. He might be a lead for us to help pursue peace in Wallachia. And there's also this sort of side item, this blade that had to do with Alduin, and has a connection to Hadrian, and is guarded apparently by Nylea, who Garth is very interested in because that's his sort of nature goddess that he's connected with. It was, however, a bit of an awkward situation. Garth was quite upset about the thought of going to Wallachia. Apparently, he came from there and had some pretty bad experiences. The details of which I don't think I really know all of it yet, but I know that he left apparently in terms that he doesn't want to return to that. Sort of running away from something. Hadrian didn't seem particularly keen on it either. But at the end of the day, I think we all kind of agree that kind of is what we would have to do. Um, uh, yeah, and then I think Hadrian got drunk, and not Hadrian, Garth got drunk, very very drunk. Yeah, we're expecting to have a ceremony with the queen soon to get properly congratulated publicly for our services to during the ball. And yes, I believe that about sums it up.
I know you guys have been doing a little bit of downtime while you were waiting for notice. Magnar was looking over his books. Garth was taking some alone time. Wastora, I believe, was just trying to ingratiate with the court and taking plenty of baths and socializing.
All very important steps. You can't.
Very important.
Very important.
And Anais was returning to her home and getting some of her affairs in order and settled. And I believe you guys had discussed with me that Hadrian was going to go try and look for her during one of those days.
Yeah, she had invited us to. Well, she had mentioned a bar that she hung out at, so I was going to go try and find her there. A couple of nights before the ceremony. What's it called, Anna? The bar.
I don't see it in my notes. I know it's
All right.
No, I'm going to go.
Well,
I don't see it in my notes. The bar.
I will tell you. It's a fairly popular tavern that you like to hang out at, called the Flipped Bird.
All right.
I approve. I approve.
Yeah.
It's a bit seedy and lower class, a little rowdy. Put you guys on the map for it.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll just walk in.
So
one moment, and I would like to know. All right, there we are. Tell you a little bit about the bar, and where is on the east? There you are. On the east, if you want to put yourself.
Okay, now I see it.
Venturing party so everyone can see. If you'd like to put yourself at one of the tables, the flipped bar is run by a dragonborn couple, and they have a horde of Kenku staff that they treat as kind of their family. There's a running joke amongst the patrons that they are actually their kids, and no one knows how to Dragonborn had a bunch of Kenku children. Someone had an affair somewhere, they're sure of it. It does get a bit rowdy. There's a spot in the back for axe throwing contests and dart throwing. There's a small stage in the on the far left-hand side of the tavern where various performers tend to pick up, and the flipper will often hire various bards and people from the city, but it's not as upper class in theater as Bloom. There's a large hearth fireplace on that same side, surrounded by large chairs. There's several rooms in the back for guests. You can always hear the squawking and complaining of the Kenku chef in the back, and the rough housing of the various Kenku staff as they move around through the bar. And Anais, I see you moved yourself and put yourself in one of the upper right corners. So as Hadrian walks into the bar, will you please explain how he spots Anais?
yes. So actually, based on when Hadrian just happened to randomly choose to go find Anna at the bar that she had mentioned to everybody, which is pretty much, it's very close to her house where she left her address as well. Actually, while you were walking down the street, kind of in the distance, you would have, before you got to the bar, you would have seen Anna outside walking out of another house. And she's wearing her normal clothes. She looks somewhat disheveled though. Her hair is really messed up. She looks tired for some reason, and she seems like she's saying goodbye to a rather tall tiefling woman. and has a brief conversation with her, and then she kind of limps out of the building to the bar. And by the time you get to the bar, you'd find her in the corner booth that she's in right now, and she's kind of sprawled out in the way that you do in a corner booth that is meant for way more people than just you, and you're trying to take up all the space so other people don't sit there. So she's got her coat over on one side, she took the rapier out and threw it on the other side, and she's just leaning back with her head kind of resting on the cushion of the wood of the bench, and she's staring up at the ceiling when you come in.
All right, I'm gonna walk over there, and I'm not trying to surprise her. So I will, before I move to, I'm just gonna go and then walk in, but sort of not sit on the same corner booth,
But sit in the chair or sit in the seat.
If that is a chair or a table, I'll sit on the table. If it's a table, I'll sit in the chair. If it's a chair, I'm not really bothered by protocol here. Sort of like plop and
It's like a small sort of bench for where you might get larger drinks, or if you were carrying out a larger platter, especially for a small kenku, to set the platter down and then move the food over from the platter to the table.
I am a tall glass of water, so don't say that out loud. By the way, just making a joke. I sit down and just, you look haggard.
It's been a really long day.
Yeah, I saw you, well, I mean, it's been a really long week, I think.
You coming to, is everybody else going to be here?
Nope. Goth is drunk as hell, Magnar is in his books, and Wistoria is bathing. But I was bored and Elsbeth to sleep, and also, you invited us, I was taking you up on the invitation.
I assumed it would kind of be a group outing thing.
It's an assumption you should have made clear when you made the invitation, then.
That's fair. That's my bad.
As you're saying that, you can hear a bit of squawking and squabbling, and 3 kenku kind of tumble around nearby with each other. My turn, no, mine. You took last. Kick. As they kind of fight, there's a tomato that gets thrown from behind the bar and smashes against one of them, and they all screech and kind of scatter as one hops over with tomato on the side of his face. Hi, you want drink? Food? Ham good.
Ham and whiskey.
And
I'll have what she's having. I'll have what she's having.
Ham and whiskey. And he runs off.
Are they going to bring us 3 orders each? Or are you
No,
just repeating it?
No, they do a really good job. So
Okay. I mean, I trust your judgment on this.
There's not really anything that you can have here that's bad. That's all the food's good, and the drinks are some of the better ones in the city, in my opinion. And the service is just cute.
Yeah. They do have that little sort of Three Stooges act going on. Sinish Guardian, you get a troop. Wow. Not sure I would have pictured a place like this as being your go-to, but I like it. It's fun.
It's cozy, comfy.
Filled
I
with
suppose.
birds.
Well, yes. I guess I don't really have opinions on birds, but they're adorable. So I love.
Yeah.
I love these. I assume that you didn't come down here just to see me, though.
I mean, it's hard for me to express exactly why I came down here than wanting to get a drink, because you sort of painted me into a corner with how to ask you something. So I'm just going to come out and is there any way that you could get a message to the queen or get me to meet with the queen before the ceremony? Because whatever the award she's giving, I don't fucking want it.
I mean, I'm still in her employ for a little while, so it'd be pretty easy to get a message to her, but she kind of shifts around and pulls herself up and sits up properly in the seat to look over at Hadrian. Why won't you accept it?
Well, initially it's because I don't think I deserve recognition for cleaning up my own goddamn messes.
Okay, so you're making it about yourself.
No.
You're making it about yourself.
You could certainly see it that way. It's more that I had a part in things that happened.
And you don't feel that you should be recognized for that part?
But it was a bad part. I gave Jill the ritual to summon Godric, but Jill and others. Right, I
Okay.
helped turn Edwin to
Okay.
Maurice.
Okay. Okay. But you helped with the solution too, right?
Yeah, but that's like you
You
wouldn't
helped-
reward somebody for stabbing somebody and then reviving them.
Okay, as much as I'm going to take a risk with this analogy, then you might not like it. When a kid does something wrong and then they correct their behavior later, you reward them, right? Like you can't be upset at somebody like trying to fix shit that they've done in their past, which is exactly what you're doing. So it's, you might have caused this in some small way. I'm sure they would have found some other stooge if it wasn't for you, but you still were here and tried to do the right thing.
Are you comparing me to a child right now?
Yes.
Mm. I mean, it's not inaccurate. It's just
I'm using it. No. Don't even go down the rabbit hole with that. It's not an insult. I'm literally just trying to get through your head right now of like how your logic is not logical because you're beating yourself up for no reason. And not to mention the fact that you could just accept the award for everybody else, Adrian, not us. But there's going to be people there and they're going to want to see the people that saved the city and stopped people from dying getting an award. And if somebody snubs the award and throws it in the queen's face or does whatever you had planned or whatever you do in the moment, like what kind of a message does that send? Except if you give them.
I'm not planning on throwing it in her face. I was asking you because I believe it or not, and I know you're going to have trouble with this. I don't want to make a scene. It's not about me trying to snub the queen in public. I just, like I said, I don't think I fucking deserve it. Like if I get there, maybe, but I mean, I would argue.
I would argue that yes, you deserve it on a couple different reasons. And then two, if you can't get over that personal hump yet, then you need to accept it for not only the people of Emery's and everybody watching, the rest of us as well, I would say. And then I think you should forgive yourself and be able to accept an award for doing something nice. Otherwise, you're just torturing yourself for no fucking reason.
It's hard to forgive myself when I don't know exactly what I did, except for the broad strokes. But
sure, but guess what? Accepting an award from royalty in this one like small little ceremony, maybe that's cobblestone number one on the long path to figuring it all out. You don't got to fix it all in a day, but in you got to start somewhere. And if accepting an award is a small step,
it's also accepting an award from somebody who is. I don't mind that she didn't invite me to that little lunch. I mean, whatever. I don't cater to her delicate sensibilities, but Garth?
Trust me, I'm seething about it. Okay, like it's the main reason I haven't slept well in the last couple days is because of that whole fucking thing. So don't even get me started on Garth.
I mean, I think I just did by accident. So if you do want to rant, I'm here for it. Like,
trust me, I've ranted to my friends a couple times. It's just I really.
Your friends?
Do you think I live in a
I'm
bubble?
I'm kidding. Well, based on how often you summon the tiny hut, it's not an inaccurate or unreasonable conclusion.
I haven't summoned that for like. I can't actually remember the last time I summoned that thing until you all showed up because I haven't.
What can I say? Progenitors of chaos, unfortunately.
But
it's chaos. Whiskey.
Is this called chaos? Oh, by the way, you would see as Hadrian
That's the bottle down and two large plates with like slabs of ham on them.
You would see as Hadrian turns to get the whiskey, I throw him a gold. His eyes kind of go wide, and he like slinks down underneath the table a little bit, trying to hide from view, as he has spotted the gnomes in the corner and is just trying to not be noticed by him.
What are you doing?
I'm just gonna like shuffle into the corner. I just don't. There's people over there who I think one of them carved a heart into my chest when I was sleeping, and I'm really not about that. So I'm. Yeah, no, that expression on your face is exactly how I feel. 26. I am a ghost.
If Anais wasn't looking directly at you.
I will take the whiskey though and just Okay, so
And the Kenku set down the bottle as well as two of the glasses.
okay,
a glass for
I'll
each.
pour a large glass.
Yeah, I'll take a shot. I'm just gonna take a shot in a glass and sip it. Anyway, whatever that is. No, I think you should accept it. It'll be a good step for you, and especially after the way that you were introduced at the masquerade, which definitely scarred you and you didn't like. What is it going to do if you reject the reward from the queen? Everybody's going to think that whatever the way you were announced is reality. How about buck that trend and be the hero?
I guess I don't know that it's not.
What?
I mean, what I am now in my like I'm trying to do the right thing, blah, 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 but like, but there must have been some. You don't do the things that I apparently did and not believe in it, and like I part of the reason I'm concerned about going to Valekia is that like what if all those memories return and I become that same person?
Maybe. I mean, that's a risk, and none of us can really answer that for you right now, but you're not that person right now. And I don't, who knows? Maybe you will. But I don't think I'd like to believe or hope that that's not how it works in this case. But why don't you try playing hero for a little bit and stop playing this?
I don't even know what this is.
I think there's an old Ishgardian word, edgelord.
Oh yeah, could be.
But I mean, seriously, you should think about it. And I think even if you just nodded quietly and accepted it, it might heal something, even if it's just a drop.
No sarcastic remark at all.
That wasn't sarcastic.
No. I mean, like to the queen. Like, no, I can't make a side remark.
Not a single
gesture.
No, not a single. I mean, if it's for Garth, sure. But if it's for your own bullshit, no.
No, it's for Garth. I mean, like it's for a lot. There's a lot of shit going on in my head. I feel.
I'm sorry, that was a joke, but no,
Okay,
go through the ceremony, treat it seriously. It's a bunch of royal pomp and circumstance, yes, but it means a lot to certain people. And you know what? It means a lot to Astora too. Like making sure that everybody conducts themselves appropriately in these settings. Like that's Astora's entire, I don't want to say entire life, but it's something that means a lot to her.
I think it's like 50% other than baths, right? Like
I know.
half of it. Yeah.
I know, but that's one of the reasons that I flip between the two worlds when I'm there, because I understand that it means a lot to certain people, even if it's not who I am.
I hate the fact that we have to kowtow to live in their world when they won't even consider the fact that ours is a world as well. Right? She didn't invite Garth because he's a savage. She didn't invite me because she can't picture anything outside of the one instance she knew of me at that moment in time. Yeah. I was ready to be civil. Like, yeah. I just, what, why do, it just frustrates me that these people expect deference as a go-to. It's like, it's the same fucking thing with the gods, with AO. Like, it's like, I'm up here, like, bow before me, peon, and if you don't, then I can't interact with you.
It's frustrating, but you snubbing her isn't going to change anything. It's not going to make this better or anything.
Make me feel better. But yeah, I get it. That's about me. I know what you're saying.
Well, and remember I don't know who said this, and it's not like you always say Ishgardian or whatever, but being angry and expecting it to hurt the other person is like drinking poison and expecting it to hurt the other person. That's the saying. Because if you're so angry at her right now for how she snubbed you and Garth, you're sitting here in this bar with me chugging poison, expecting it to kill the queen, and that's not how it's going to work. So what you should do is turn the other cheek, accept the award, and let's move on with our lives and deal with much bigger, important things than a social setting.
Fine. Quick counterpoint. I don't expect anything to kill the queen. And it is not about me being, I know. I'm going with your metaphor, just as you were trying to use an analogy to educate me. I'm using the metaphor that you posited to me to respond to you. I'm not expecting drinking poison to kill the queen. I'm not even drinking the poison because she stubbed me. If I was drinking poison at that point in time, it would be because of who she has presented herself to be through her actions, and that much pisses me off. And the general fact that turn the other cheek, then nothing changes.
Sure, but sometimes you turn the other cheek.
I hate turning the other cheek.
Yes, and it's not something that I practice that often either, but in certain situations, depending on the stakes, Hadrian, it's what you do. So I don't know. It's your decision. It doesn't affect me technically. So however you want to deal with it, deal with it. But my my advice is to play the hero for a little bit, turn the other cheek, and let's just get out of Emery's.
Play the hero. At most, I seem the devil. Fine.
You seem the devil in your mind the most, it seems.
Well, first of all, again, other people, but second of all, my mind is. Don't go there. It's a strange place. Question: what are we going to do with Elspeth if we're heading off to Wallachia? I've kind of grown very attached to her. She's extremely cute. And I don't know if I want to put her into the care of the system again after you did so much to get her out of it.
She is a sweetheart, and I wouldn't want to put her back into anything official Amerasian. Though Wistora's idea, I believe it was Wistora that posited the idea of asking the queen about adoption. I mean, that is valid as much as I wouldn't want her in the courts. We can talk about it with the group, I think, at some point, but my house is going to be empty for some time, and my family's owned it for hundreds of years, and it's going to be empty. So I'm sure one of my close friends could sit it and sit her. There's a few people that I would trust, two people I would trust with her life. I guess we could always ask Elizabeth what she wants to out of all the options.
Yeah, the thing is, I feel like you could ask her if she wanted to be a princess and she would say yes, but the second the reality of it hit her in the courts, yeah, princess in a fantasy book is, it's different.
Children are smarter than you think, and I know that you know that, but I think if we asked Elspeth and sat her down and talked to her about it, she'd be able to kind of steer us in the direction that she wants to go. I mean, I'd love to have her around / adopt her, I suppose, which is weird because I don't really like kids, as in kids for me.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Kids are cute because I don't have them, but I'm in agreement with you on this.
That's not exactly how I was going to say it for myself, but yeah, I think it's something
blunt.
Yeah. I definitely think it's something that we should talk to everybody about, and just get their feelings on it,
including Elspeth. Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
All right. Well, I'll take what you said into consideration, and I will do my best, even if it's only for show, to take that step.
I guess you can say it's for show, whatever. But remember, in the end, it's for you. That's who you're doing it for.
So I'm being dishonest to myself.
You're trying to be nice to yourself is what is happening. There's no dishonesty involved. This is very similar to stuff that I've heard you all talk to Garth and others about before too. You're literally just being nice to yourself. No sarcastic comments, no nothing. Say thank you, accept it, think about it, and move on.
Really hard to be nice to myself. I'm such an asshole.
Uh-huh. But maybe try. Maybe less asshole then.
Said that very loud. All right. Well, before you attract the attentions of the gnomes, I'm going to finish this and probably leave soon. But what was that look?
Nothing. She finishes the whiskey. I just thinking about different things.
Enlightening conversation as always.
I mean, I hope it was, but you're welcome.
Thank you. No, that is genuine. I'm about halfway through your book, by the way.
You and Magnar should have a book club reading about it.
You know what? Maybe I can do a dramatic reading of it.
Please,
I would love to do that. Well, now I really want to.
All right, it's a textbook.
I know, but that makes it just being. I'm gonna go start practicing it. Treatise on magical. Sorry, On Regulation of Magic and Amoris, Part 1, by
Send me-
Anais Clementine.
Send me a sending when you all get the message from the queen, and I'll head on over to the ship.
Okay. I'm gonna army crawl out of the bar, trying to still avoid the gnome.
She's gonna follow him the whole way while sipping on her drink. Just be like,
26 again. I just really do not want to be seen by this psycho.
Like at one point, you see Trigani from the far side of the bar look over, and you do the like cartoon hide behind a plant and like slowly move the plant.
Actually, what I'm going to do is I grab one of the kinkus and just put them in front of me and start moving the kinku in front of my face. And
He looks very confused.
I slip him 3 gold after and say, "Thanks for your help, friend." And then I run.
All right. So you guys head out into the evening, on the east, heading back to your home, and Adrian heading back to the chateau. Over the next few days, while you guys are in the chateau, there is near the tail end of the week, about the day before the ceremony, there's a knock on the door. I know Garth isn't answering, but who's the rest that are answering?
If nobody else does, Restora certainly would go and open the door.
As you open the door, you would find Cadorus with a backpack on, looking pretty dirty, has some like twigs stuck in his hair, and you can see a couple of scratches and like a tear in his shirt, and there's some dirt and mud on it. And this is, good afternoon. I just returned. I went out, and I know you told me that Garth needed some personal time. I hope I didn't offend him, or cross a line and make him uncomfortable.
No. Trust us. It was has
I-
nothing to do with you.
I do not wish to press the issue of
Why don't you come in?
be too clingy. I just
Why don't you
wanted
come in,
to-
sit down, have some tea? I'll go speak with Garth.
Well, if you would like, I wanted to bring him just a small gift. I thought he might appreciate.
Very well. I can give it to him if you wish, or I can bring him down and you can give it to him yourself.
You can give it to him when he's ready to see me. I'm sure he can get a hold of me. But I been practicing with the bow that he gave me, and made a small trip just outside the city. It did not go quite as well as I had anticipated.
They rarely go as well as
But
anticipated.
I did manage to catch, succeed in hunting a small token. And he kind of pulls out of his bag this very large, sort of wrapped bit of leather, and it's somewhat small, sort of a little pouch. Please give it to him. I'm sure he will understand.
Is this cleaned leather, or is it like clearly a
You can see there's some blood stain, and
Restora
it's a little lumpy.
looks
There's
around.
something in there.
She grabs like a little dish or bowl and kind of puts it. Yeah, just set it right in there.
Apparently we had a unique experience in the woods, and the time with him has been so enlightening and changing in my life. I just wanted to make sure that he got this, and
I know he'll greatly appreciate it.
I wish you the best.
And if Garth wished to find you in the near future? Will you be at home?
I'm actually going to be staying at Madame de Pompadour's for a little bit and getting to know some of the other adventurers, broadening my horizons a little bit. Um, Goth has made it sound so intriguing that I don't think I can go back to the pretend adventures anymore. I feel this pounding in my heart like it's dancing whenever I
I
think about the adventures that lie in wait outside of the city.
Yes, I'm sure it's those adventures that's making your heart pound.
You leave me too easily, madam.
You set yourself up too easily, monsieur.
I hope you have a pleasant afternoon and evening.
And you as well.
Thank you. And he gives you a very gentlemanly bow.
And I give him a curtsy and respond.
And turns to walk away.
I'll go up the stairs to Garth's room and I'll give it a gentle knock. You're on mute, Yevon.
Hello.
Garth, it's Vestora. Do you have a moment?
Sure.
I'll open up the door and look in. Do I wrinkle my nose at the smell of stale?
What's the what's the room look like?
It's a mess. There are bottles all over the place. There. Well, he doesn't really have any clothes, so like it's not like they're like clothes mess or anything. It's just bottles mainly.
Garth, I wanted to come by. I have something for you.
For me.
Yes, you had a visitor, but obviously you've been indisposed. Cadoris has been very eager to see you again, I believe.
Oh.
He wanted me to bring you this.
What is it?
I believe he went hunting.
Doris?
Yes, he says he caught a small animal, wanted to show you his progress. Thought you would be very proud.
Take it and unwrap it.
There's a small rabbit with a very clean wound from a very good shot with an arrow.
Oh, me. It's a perfectly placed shot.
It is. I think it's very reminiscent of somebody who has felt inspired by somebody else and has managed to find new ways of improving themselves.
Maybe. Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, I can't let this go to waste. I'll probably cook it tonight then.
You could. That is certainly an option. Although I believe perhaps Madame du Pompadour's would probably have a cook who could probably manage it a lot better. And I believe Cador said he might be staying there tonight.
He was.
Yes, he wanted to meet the adventurers there because he I think he's taking this rather seriously now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. He was doing well.
Yes. And I think, when one cares about something or somebody, it did not behoove them to spend their time wallowing in their current status, but to find a way of maybe using that to help them feel better.
I don't want him to see me like this.
He doesn't have to. I know a very nice bath downstairs.
You would let me use your bath.
Of course. You just never asked.
Are you feeling all right?
I have never limited my bath to anybody. It's just that nobody else wants to use it, and they're usually too polite to kick me out of it.
I mean, if you're offering, I suppose I could give it a try.
I I might have a few muskier scents that might be more appropriate for a woodsman such as yourself.
Oh, what do you got?
Oh, I think I've got something with a bit of tobacco. I think I've got some cedar wood. Just go down there, see what you like. I have a lot of things that smell like flowers. Most would say that's not very masculine, but very natural.
Flowers do smell very lovely.
I've always thought so.
Oh, let me sober up a bit, and I'll try out a bath.
Please do. I'll let you get at it then.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, by the way.
Of course. And I hope you have a very lovely evening.
You too. You too.
And Basura leaves.
Yeah, I'll sober a bit. I'll go downstairs and just take a couple perfume bottles and just dump them in.
Just pick a couple random.
Yeah, just dump the entire bottle
Oh,
into the.
Okay.
I don't know how this works.
Yeah.
He'll know you're coming.
3 bottles. It is like.
Well, they come 100 gold each. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll pay them. He didn't try to drink them. That's probably.
That's true. That's true. Don't give him any ideas. He hasn't finished yet.
Well, I'll bathe up, and I suppose I'll head to Madame's for the night.
All right. As you get to Madame de Pompadour's screen, we're gonna cut. Is anyone else doing anything this evening?
I think I've done everything I can here.
Mission complete.
I was just gonna say I typed this to David, but Westora, because Hadrian being in the room next door would have just gotten ascending saying, "Way to wing, woman." Just that. That's it.
Pretend she doesn't understand what that means.
Oh fuck! It's another Ishgadian idiosyncratic.
Did say pretend.
Magnar would briefly have been curious as to the fumes and smells wafting up from the basement where he
You
has
know my alchemical set? I mean, what's
Yeah,
going on?
makes it about halfway down the stairs, sees its Garth, and retreats back up to his studies.
Magnar, which books were you reading?
Which books was I reading? Well, he's still studying the High Common, and he's got the notes with on the diagrams that Addis left for the fish, but they're still off to one side. And I forget there was the Ishgardian book that we managed to pull some stuff of Hadrian from at one point. So
I think that was all redacted, wasn't it? Like everything about Hadrian in the book was redacted.
yeah,
There was a bunch of stuff that was redacted from
Yeah.
the book. But...
yeah, but specifically about you.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of other stuff in there that's not about you that may not be as redacted. So just reading through that in preparation for taking a look at the notes, but still hasn't actually taken a look at them.
Well, specifically in the Ishgardian book, it wasn't that you got from the library that kind of was edited. It wasn't that it was just the stuff with Hadrian that was redacted. It was just anything that looked like it might contain.
Well, in that
was
case,
in
Magnar
redacted.
has now got scribbled above most of the redactions some of his guesses at what some of the redactions might be.
Okay.
And like just looking at
So
the,
you've been
the
looking-
words and the context and just trying to
I love
Make an investigation check.
okay.
Ooh.
That is 23.
So the pattern, as you're kind of reading this book that you're able to figure out between what's redacted, is it does tend to talk a lot about them being at war with the dragons and hunting dragons and Aruk and the 12 divine kings of Ishgard. A lot of that stuff is there, and there's a lot of stuff about some of their magic and uh, automancy and golems, that kind of thing. But the pattern with what's redacted seems to be around mentions of their army and details about their military and religious practices, or which entities had divine power and how they got it. All of that information seems to be like those contexts or religious and military context. And from what you can tell, it looks like the information that's redacted is trying to make them seem more militaristic and aggressive than they probably were. It's sort of that the information that's redacted is trying to paint them in a the information that you're allowed to see is trying it colors them in a very negative light, and the things that seem like it might start to like hint at a different culture are redacted.
Blank might see them as a aggressive race. Blank, 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 blank. Okay.
Yeah.
The howevers and the whiles and the buts are all gone.
Mm-hmm. But something that you do notice in common is a couple of the symbols sort of inlaid that are drawn on the pages showing different scenes of Ishgard and murals and portraits of different structures that they had that have arcane runes and clockwork mechanisms. At a glance, you would notice similar symbols and notations on the page about the fish.
Magnus going to have to take a look at that very soon, but probably after the ceremony.
Other than that,
okay, yeah, that's it.
Said anything to do anything. We'll cut back to Garth at Madame de Pompadour's. When you arrive, you'd be welcomed in by the madam, and see a couple of the guests are still there. Vaughn is still there. A few other very obvious adventuring-looking people have come in. There's what you're sort of a person that seems to be made out of almost like a gemstone hue, with earthy cracks in their body and sort of crystalline formation for hair, wearing a tunic and a robe, and another person sort of tattered clothes that seems to have a bunch of puppets and dolls hanging off of her. There's one gentleman with a big giant robe, and you think it's a gentleman at first just because of like how bulky the squares are, like shoulders are, and this enormous hat, and you can see the brim of glasses. But when you hear them talk, you realize it's a woman, like very feminine voice, and just the robes just blanket everything over covering them, making them look like a giant pillow or curtain almost, as they're kind of hanging out, telling different stories about adventures. And you'll find Cadorus kind of listening in and hearing the stories. They're sitting around having some of the dinner. As you walk in, he would see you and immediately like stands up and is like, Goth, you got the message. He comes over and embraces you tightly with a hug, and sort of looks a little odd from it. He's like, you smell like a fresh blooming garden during a winter snow. And pumpkin spice? Or is that cinnamon?
I don't know. I just threw a bunch of bottles in the bath.
It's very pleasant.
Do you have a
Wait, you use the whole bottle?
Yeah,
Bottles?
3.
That certainly explains the strength of your aura.
Am I interrupting something here?
Oh no, we were just discussing. Apparently, they had a run-in with a nasty band of kobolds at one point that robbed them and blamed them for murdering their families and clans. And
Was it a cave just outside of what city is that? Can't remember where it was, but we did too.
Oh, apparently you have something in common with them. Yeah, it was several months back, and they when they were just getting started, they were warning me that like your first adventure never goes well. You're too excited. It happens so fast, and then it's over.
They're totally correct.
But
It's
that
like,
apparently it pays off. They were recently up into Myria and battled a crystal golem inside a cave, and they just were on their way down to see the festivities.
what festivities they were. Huh?
Oh, indeed. But I'm sure none of the tales could compare to your heroism. I've told them all about the magnificent nature warlock. Sorry, I believe they said the term was druid.
That was. I'm not sure exactly, to be honest.
But
What?
now that you're here, I would much rather be in your company.
Sure. Let's have a seat. Yeah.
And we could go to the other room with the hearth. We could sit amongst ourselves.
Sure, if you'd like.
Of course. He kind of just gently tugs on your arm and goes to guide you into the other room.
I know.
Leads you in, you sit down in a couple of the chairs, and then the Conqueror comes out and pours you each a bit of tea.
Thank you.
She smiles, and Doris looks at you and says, "So, do you want to?" And your friends told me that you needed some space and for processing some things. Would you like to talk about what is going on? I'm here for you. Happily listen. Maybe I can help you as you have helped me.
Sure, yeah. Why not? Um, sorry about before when you stopped by. I didn't want you to see me in the state I was in.
I had been worried I may have offended you
Oh, absolutely not. Don't.
or
Not at all.
made you uncomfortable.
No. It was some other recent events that have transpired.
What happened? Are you all right? Are your friends all right? I only saw Madame Mastora. Are the others okay?
I think so. Yeah, as far as I know, yeah. Um, I've been kind of locked away in my own room for a little bit. So we were at the palace for a little while, and the queen had invited a couple of my friends to a lunch. I did not receive such invitation. Nor
But
did
you saved so many people. The party. Why would she not wish to speak to you?
I don't know. I don't know. Annie said it was just boring political stuff anyway, so I wouldn't have missed much.
That could be. As I understand from my mother, a lot of the council and of the higher ups, the rulers, deal in a lot of boring chit chat and discussing of rules and
Yeah. It's not really what I like to do with my free time.
me either.
But I was just worried that it's because during a masquerade, I may have attacked a magister, inquisitor. Even.
What? Wait,
No,
does anybody know?
no.
Did-
It was for good reason. It was for good reason. Gilles de Rais,
I
you know who
I'm-
Gilles de Rais is.
I know he's a bit, but what? They could arrest you.
They could. You. That's what I'm worried about. That's what I was worried about, but I don't think I'm in trouble. And he said that the Queen doesn't like Jill either, so I think I'm good.
I don't think anybody likes him.
Oh, it's kind of hard to. But besides the point. And then after that, the Queen had asked my companions. Oh, sorry, go on.
And you were so upset at this invitation that you need to lock yourself away.
Not just that. It's a whole bunch of things, really.
What's really bothering you? You seem to be dancing around it.
The Queen had asked me and my friends to go to Wallachia.
And it's quite the journey, especially with a war coming. That would be very dangerous.
I am quite familiar with Wallachia.
You've
Not in
been
a
to-
good way.
I don't hear this very much of anything good in Wallachia, so I can imagine.
It's not a place I look forward to going back to, really.
I can understand. If it would help, he kind of reaches over and puts his hand on yours. I would come with you.
I couldn't ask you that.
You're not asking me. I am volunteering. If this place is so dark for you that you are unsure if you want to go, and I know you're not going alone with your friends, but maybe I could help in a way that they could not.
Oh, I can't. I can't have you come with me. It would be history repeat itself again. I can't have it. Sorry.
See, I understand.
That shot you placed on that rabbit was perfect. But I don't think you're ready yet.
How will I ever be ready if I never step out and try?
Fair point.
And what better teacher could I have than yourself? And what more determination could I have than to keep someone I care about safe?
Sometimes it's not enough.
Could be for us. He puts his hand back on yours.
You know, I really do like you.
We like you quite a bit as well.
If something was to happen to you on my watch, I wouldn't know what to do. I know
would-
here you're going to be safe.
There's a war coming. There's going to be nowhere safe.
Not safer than with me.
I understand. If you need me to not be around so you can focus on your duties.
No, it's not what I'm saying at all. It's words are fucking hard.
Then how about this? If you are preparing to leave, you may do so. But why don't you come back with me to my room? Spend the evening with me, and we will be together. And when the time comes for you to leave the city, if you need to go alone, you may, and I will wait here for you. But if you decide that you do not want to go alone, I will stand by you, and we'll tackle this together.
I can agree. That sounds like pretty great. Yeah, we'll head back to his room.
All right. And we'll fade to black. As we pick up the next day, you guys are all having breakfast, getting ready for the festival. Garth comes back late in the morning. So you guys are eating, getting ready. The festival's in the evening, so it's around afternoon when you guys all gather up. Is there anything that you wanted to do before the festival? Or before the
I'm all right.
I don't think so.
Nothing particularly. Anna's already doing all the stuff that she wants to do, so
Wistora has that day would have woken up having shifted into spring.
Hadrian will send to Anais saying, "Hey, we're getting ready to go to the award thing. You said to send, so I'm doing that, and I've got more words." Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
All right. You guys prepare and get ready, head through the streets. You can see a large crowd has begun to gather outside of the castle where the throne room is. And as you are walking by, several people cheer and clap. And the guards are kind of keeping them apart. The Magister comes up and says, "Please, right this way. They're expecting you." Kind of leads you into the castle. And it leads you to the side for a moment. And just straightens. I will let them know that you have arrived. And they'll call you all in. As soon as you're ready, please head down to the hall. There's a few drinks here if any of you are nervous.
Well, should we be nervous? What should we be nervous about?
How many drinks are there?
There's just a few glasses of wine.
Does anyone want any?
A small, like, silver pitcher.
Yeah, I'll have a drink.
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm good. Thanks.
I'll drink the rest. No one else wants.
Right. So you just a couple finish you and Adrian finish the pitcher rather quickly.
I'm only taking 2 glasses or so. I just don't want to. It may not be a good idea. I'll do it.
All right, Garth, make a Constitution save.
Yep. 14.
You're a little tipsy, but things when you've got a good buzz going and you're kind of loading a little bit, light on your step, but nothing too bad. But you guys head to the side hall. That's sort of set up so you can come in from the back of the room. And eventually you do hear the queen call for each of you. And as you all step out, you can see each side of the throne room there's stairs going up into a gallery, large stone bits with pillars that you can overlook. The main hall has several arches that rise up and support a cathedral-esque roof of the long hall. There's gold inlay of flowers traced around it, and set into the marble stone are depictions of the metallic dragons made from the metals for the dragons: gold, bronze, copper, silver. Around. You can see the sort of Ameresian banner hanging, and a symbol for the 12, a sort of clock-shaped stained glass symbol in the back behind the throne. There's a little set of steps rising onto a mid platform, and then the higher up onto the throne. And the queen is actually standing on the stairs, not sitting in the throne. There's several guards in the room, and on an east, you recognize the sort of several law mages spread throughout. But the rest are just various nobles and patrons, a lot of which you guys all recognize from the party. And from the clothing are obviously members of the different houses. As the queen gestures for all of you to approach, kind of gestures to the stairs in front, the landing just in front of her, because she's a few steps up between the throne and the mid landing. And do you all approach?
Yes, yes. And I mentioned
Yeah.
changing seasons, but also I just want to mention that I'm wearing that same dress from the ball as well.
Okay.
I will refrain from any eye contact with the queen.
Okay.
I'm staring right at her.
She seems to be wearing the same dress she wore to the masquerade, but without the giant sun mask. And there is a gentleman standing next to her with this large wooden display case that's closed. As you guys step up and you're making eye contact with the queen, she briefly makes very intentional eye contact and make an insight check.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
$25.
You can definitely get a little bit of irritation at the like dead stare eye contact, but she doesn't. She seems to be trying to read you to see, like, are you trying to challenge? Are you trying to be like, fuck you? Or are you, yeah. There's more irritation in the like, what's going on? But maintains her demeanor, and as all of you approach, she says, recently at my party, there was a tragedy for Amaris. And it is not the first reason that has occurred. Versailles was attacked, and our very way of life has come under threat, both by the individuals and parties of Wallachia, as well as the entity that I have come to know as Godric. A threat that is not just to our people and our nation and way of life, but I believe to be a threat to the world. Amaris was founded on the idea that after the Gods' War and the abuses of magic, this world needed people to understand and pursue enlightenment of magic and maintain a firm grasp on its use to prevent tragedies like the Gods' War from ending. Many of our founders were adventurers and those with the dragon's blood. And in times of war, we have turned to adventurers and those with noble hearts to aid us, both from our citizens and travelers. If not for our alliances with the many people of the world, the battle with Aldwin would have resulted in the end of the Ameresian way of life. And so today, we are gathered in Ao's light to honor these adventurers and people who risked their very lives to save the people of Amaris to save myself, and I have it on good authority, repelled the attack in Versailles and helped save the children there. Each of you has done so much for myself and for all the people of Emery's. And so, it is my honor to bestow upon you the highest medal of bravery for Emery's. The Corps de Dragon. And the gentleman standing next to her opens the case, and she pulls out a small brooch that just looks like a little clasp of a dragon over a sword. Looks like it's meant to pin on a cloak or just rest on the shoulder or everything. Very fine craftsmanship. Anna East Clementine, please step forward.
He steps forward.
Please accept the Corps de Dragon on behalf of the people of Emery's and myself, with your thanks for your heroic bravery and selfless acts that have defended the people, your years of service, and wear it with honor and pride.
She does a little, kind of crosses her feet at the ankles and does a very appropriate little bow before accepting it.
And she places the pin on your shoulder. Restore Freshno. Please step forward.
Restorer steps forward, does a deep curtsy.
You risked your life throwing yourself in the way of the attacks. You reached out in bravely and have worked tirelessly to aid us. We honor your bravery and hope that you will be a beacon and a symbol to the people and other adventurers of what magic is truly meant for. Please accept these thanks on behalf of myself and the people of Emery's, and wear the Coup de Dragon. Right.
I do a deep curtsy and then go back to my spot.
Garth Stonefist, will you please approach?
He'll hesitate a bit, and he'll start stepping forward, stumble a little bit, but make it there.
As you approach, she says, "While many of our people fear and spread gossip and lies about the different tribes and peoples of different lands, you have come into our country and shown us how wrong our beliefs are. For while our own gods, inquisitors, and security fled and rallied, you fought with honor and bravery to defend." Sorry. She doesn't sneeze. That's a GM thing. You saved so many lives. Were it not for your actions, many of the people gathered here would not be here. And I would like to apologize for any mistreatment the Amerasian people have done to you. and would like to thank you for your bravery. I thank here is the Court the Dragon. As a thank you for saving my life and the lives of so many others. I out with pride.
Where does she pin it?
She goes to and then looks down to the loincloth. Yeah.
Hold his hand out. In return.
Agnos Smeltbow, please approach.
Magna, who was slightly distracted looking at the stonework and the gold dragon work, sort of snatches to attention and then heads over and steps forward, and does do a respectable bow.
Magna, you saved my life and pulled me back from the clutches of death. You have my eternal gratitude. And if not for you, who knows the state of affairs the Emirates would be in. The people thank you for saving their queen. Your bravery in the fight and determination of spirit and faith are a shining example of Ael's wisdom. Please accept the Code of Dragon on behalf of myself and the people of Emirates. I will wear it with pride.
I absolutely will, and it is wondrously made, and quite clearly, your work here is not done, or I would not have been able to assist you in finding your way back. So, good luck with the tasks that you have ahead, and use this second chance at life wisely.
Good luck with your tasks as well, and know that you will always have a home in Emirates.
Oh, excellent. I was looking at your basement earlier. I thought might make a good... Oh, that's not quite right. Yes, thank you. He shuffles off back.
She stands up, and you see her sort of suck some air in briefly. And Hadrian Azuna of Ishgard, former lieutenant of Altwin, please approach.
I take a step towards her. Eyebrow raised.
She seems to be waiting for you to come up to her.
Oh, I didn't realize we were that far away. I go up to her.
Was surprised when I heard your name announced and to hear you repeat it, but with a little bit of research, I have confirmed who you are. And I would like to say that just while our lands descend as a rivalry towards yours, and those rivalries have lasted for the centuries, you have shown that the past can be left behind, and that the bravery of people attempting to correct their mistakes can lead to hope and a better future. Your actions in stopping the dragon, risking your life, fending off the attack, showed incredible bravery and care for the people of Emirates and myself. We are grateful. And it is with this gratefulness that after discussing with several of my counselors, not only have we decided to bestow upon you the Court of Dragon for your bravery and actions, but she reaches over to the gentleman who reaches into his cloak and pulls out a scroll. And she takes the scroll. Well, there's much to be said that you staved off an attack from a fellow Ishgardian in Versailles, saved a small child, but instrumental in saving others in the city and striking down the dragon. We have decided that as of this day, all of the crimes of Hadrian of Ishgard during the war with Alduin are pardoned. And we hope that your shining symbol of bravery is a symbol of how our peoples, just as Eo united the survivors from the Gods' War, can come together in this new world for the greater good of all of Endara. And we thank you. Please accept the Court of Dragon on behalf of myself and the people of Amaris.
I nod slightly. Is she giving me the scroll, or is it just? And I look down at the scroll and up at her, and
it's a very official, like, royal pardon.
Right? Yeah, I
capital crimes.
I look at it and I say,
it doesn't list the crimes. Just,
yeah. You see, he actually looked at it, trying to see, like, oh, is there information here? Look up, and I appreciate the gesture, but you cannot give me what I have not earned in my heart. And
you get a sending in your head immediately from Anna that just goes, Adrian!
Back to her, and I bow my head, though. And I said, I will endeavor to earn it truly. And not just in this one instance.
oh. Then the pardon is here when you earn it. But should you fall back, you will not be forgiven a second time.
I will hold you to that.
And she presents the brooch.
No. Like I said, I accepted the brooch.
You returned the pardon.
It's more that she's trying to pardon him for crimes he doesn't feel he's actually understood or redeemed himself for. So he's accepting it legally, I guess, but not. He didn't tear it in half.
No, yeah, you return it. Basically said, yeah, about paying this. That's how I've earned it. Yeah. But she afterwards goes on a little bit, sort of thanking the gods for such adventures to have come and bestowed Amaris with their heroism, and that all of Amaris should strive for glory and betterment. And it's a bit long-winded and definitely pompous, and sort of touts that they're following Eo's tenets, and they're going to try and seek a peace with the Valachians to try and come to a pause, but that the Valachians have like refused, and hopefully more heroes such as yourselves will step up in the time of war, and that you guys will be an inspiration for heroism during the war. And you can tell she's using this a bit as sort of a symbolic rallying for her people and giving them some heroes to see behind, to stand behind. But eventually You're thanked, and everyone cheers and claps, and dismisses into a large celebration. People drinking and sort of partying and wanting to get to know.
Is the queen staying? Like, can we socialize, or is it just like a?
Yeah, it's a very large, so that, like, everyone's kind of led out of the room, and you guys are like, yeah, like everyone's like, come with us, like there's a party, like everyone in your honor. It's not like, hey, ceremony now, everybody get out.
Okay, so if I can, I would actually like to approach the queen and ask her something. But if she's leaving, then that's fine.
Make an insight check.
I'll use my inspiration. 24.
24. She seemed, from what you're able to read, she seems to be sort of distracted and concerned with other stuff and trying to do enough socializing that's politically appropriate for the situation and find the diplomatic moment to leave.
Okay. I was trying to find a time to give us some information, but that's we can do that later.
I mean, you could definitely take the opportunity to. Like, it's not like she's heading out the door.
So
You just get the impression that, like, as you're listening, like, quicker conversations, acknowledging what and trying to move on to the next one.
I will at some point try to approach her, but I can wait until everyone else is there.
Anyone else like to do anything during the party?
At some point, if Anna can find a moment to like socially acceptable, slip up close to her and talk with her, she would just have a brief moment of pulling her ring off and handing the queen her ring personally, because she wanted to do it one-on-one.
So there's that. I'm so sorry you feel you need to leave the Inquisitors, and there's other people around.
Yeah.
It's just Dick said, if you feel it's time for you to move on, I understand.
And Anna looks very withdrawn and kind of more pale than normal as she does it, and she keeps her voice low due to the other people, even though she is playing into the scene, kind of thing. And goes, I think after I've had a good career, and it's time for other things.
We support you, and should you change your mind, we'll happily accept you back.
And she
But we
does
wish all the people of MRS and myself wish you glory and safety on your new ventures.
she does a completely Westora style formal curtsy, and holds it for a couple painful seconds before gathering herself up, and then she just beelines it. Is there food and drink here or not?
Mhm.
Beelines it for the drinks, looking
Already there.
thick to her stomach.
Garth is already
there. Yeah.
Good. I'll head towards Garth.
as whenever I get a chance to get to the queen, I'll nod to her and just. I don't mean to snub your offer. It was a kind one. I don't feel I can. Well, one good deed doesn't erase what I've heard about what I did. So,
As I understand it, it is your own brother, and that is waging this horrible war.
yes,
And to stand up to one's family. Well,
yeah. I mean, I know. Well, families are weird, right? You have Jill, I have Godric. They both begin with G. There's a bit of a
families do have their diverse colors, but
yeah.
we embrace family in Amaris. It is.
I can tell she's trying to not talk about this here. Right. That's the word. Or brother's the word, or cousin's the word. Anyway, no, I unfortunately I only found out he was family recently, but I just. While I refuse to pardon, if you know anybody who has records or information of my deeds in the war, I would appreciate it.
I know some of the historians at Strixhaven do have such tomes and texts. But
I know it is an odd request to ask about one's own history.
And the histories that we have more pertain to historical events and context, less about individuals. But if I might point you in the right direction, Cutania, or Aldwin's descendants, might know more.
I shall look into it. We also plan to investigate a certain historical artifact of homebrew color that is associated. So
Well, let me aid you in that. The Black Blade was destroyed. It no longer exists. It was the only way to defeat Alton.
with all due respect, Your Majesty, I have heard otherwise.
Oh, there have been. Oh, how often? I think it's probably every few years there's someone
There's
who
a
says that.
who paints the sword black and is like, it's the Black Blade, and everybody goes crazy over it. Yeah.
They'll venture out to Baldur's Gate into the through Baldur's Gate into the scavenger lands or
Right,
off into the wild
right.
lands.
Just like
It's always
there's no just like there's no survivors of the Gods' War who are waging war. Ancient things have a way of coming back.
a wisdom that we should all keep in mind.
As a fossil myself, I know. Anyway, once again, I apologize. It's a personal thing, and
No, I understand, but we must all take Aya's example and learn from our mistakes and the price of wars. And
he twitches. I twitch slightly.
strive to unite in our differences.
I nod and I will send to her as I walk away because I don't want to say this out loud, but you owe Garth an apology at some point. And don't say all Ameresians think this when you snubbed him for that same reason. Me, I get. He's a pure and gentle soul and he deserved better.
I think you ran out of words, but
No, that was I counted when I typed it. That was literally 25. And then I go to the table where everyone is getting drunk and I join them.
All right. So you guys have a wonderful evening before a stumbling drunkenly, whether that's a pleasant tipsy buzz or completely sloshed.
Somebody's going to have to wake Magnar up from under the table.
Yeah. Wistora doesn't drink, so she is
pick
sober.
Magnar up and just sort of carry him and just like we Odin's sons are we singing.
You guys went into the chateau. We'll pick up the next morning, but we'll take our break now. So everyone, see you soon. All right. So, as you left off, you guys were all returning to either the chateau or your home in town, or Madame de Pompadour's, depending on where. And after getting your long rest, kind of gathering back up to decide what to do on the next leg of your journey, there were a few things that you guys still want to accomplish in town. So we'll say it's a particularly nice brunch that you guys are sitting down and having at the chateau to discuss your next steps.
Well, did we wish to go to Jill's house sooner rather than later?
Oh, I think so. I'd like to have a good route around in that place.
And I have my painting supplies ready.
What? Oh, you intend to leave a message?
Not a message, just graffiti.
That's a message.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know who it's from. I'm not going to say, bye, Hadrian.
I think he'll know.
Yeah, it won't be. It won't be subtle.
Fine, I won't do it.
I'm
not
not
sure
saying
why.
you can't do it.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't know why the two aren't connected. It's like I think I'll forgive that Adrian chap for everything that he said. Oh no, he's graffitied me home. I'll get him. No, he's like not going to change anything.
Okay, thank you. I will take that as permission. Before we do go there, though, we should utilize the money we have to get some diamonds, and maybe some. I would like a magical weapon at some point in time before we go. The man who ran that magic store seemed to really take a liking to me. Maybe I could get a discount on some of those things. If you guys are up for trying that.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good idea.
Well, while you're buying, yes, you're buying that. I'm going to go and commission a new mace.
Oh. Oh. Is it sentient?
No, not bloody sentient. Just properly weighted and balanced for me.
All right.
This mace. It's. I mean, it's to perfection in terms of its crafting, but it's a Coleman Mind, Mace 47. It's beautiful, but not.
Are you saying it makes it? If you've missed by chance in the past, it's because the mace was not appropriately crafted for you?
That's what
Well,
they all say.
No, I'm sure somebody who is well skilled with smacking things with a mace could hit things with this mace. It's one of the most popular maces that we do back at the mine. So, no, I'm saying that I have a tendency to like swing early and overreach, and maybe if we can adjust the handle and the weight and the settings, it can compensate for my somewhat inept fighting style.
Okay. Because until you said that, I was about to ask if that was a euphemism. Because again, Macy has really just gotten into my head. But
Yeah, let's go shopping.
Good idea. Good idea. Let's go
Well,
shopping.
right, but also Jill.
Right, shopping.
One thing at a time. One thing at a time.
Well, we might find that shopping is somewhat easier once we've.
Ooh, actually, yeah, we could take shit from his house and sell it.
Don't know how much we want to push the everyone looking the other way by literally walking out of a Inquisitor's house carrying loot.
I have a trench coat. We can hide it in there.
I would not feel very comfortable stealing from him.
I would.
Yeah, I know you would. I'm telling you how I feel.
Okay, good to know. I'll take that into account. I'll only steal a little bit. Like his favorite pen or something. Rusty, point of clarification, by the way. Platinum is 100 gold, right?
Correct.
Damn. Okay.
No.
No. In Frosty's world, it was because I got this wrong before.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I actually have a lot of money. Jill first or shopping first? What do we want to do? It should be a vote.
Let's get the shopping out of the way. Housekeeping taken care of, so we can move on.
So you guys spend the afternoon shopping. It's better to break into a place at night, anyways, so you can head back there. But what are you guys shopping for?
I don't need anything. I'm good. I'm just
Okay.
standing.
Not going to replace the 10 gold worth of perfumes that Garth used.
I can. I've got more. So I don't know what I have. Let me just see. I had 15. So, and
you've been taking quite a lot of baths.
That's true. I have not been taking track of it. You know what? I will stock up on perfumes and that. Not as many though. I'll just buy just so I can. I'll say I've used up everything between my normal stuff and that. I will buy 5. I can't remember how much they were though. Like 10 gold each or something, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So.
All right. So that's what we're buying.
So Frosty, how much could I get for the shark tooth dagger?
The shark tooth dagger?
The +2 dagger that Addis was using and none of us else have used. He left it.
Isn't it still on Addis?
I believe it is.
You ever give it
Yeah,
back?
it.
Addis left it with us. He left his stuff. Like
He
he was
left
naked.
specific things. I thought.
He left specific.
Oh,
things.
okay. Okay. I thought he
Yeah.
gave it to me. The dollhouse.
I don't think he. I don't think he did. He left each of you a specific thing, but the rest of his items went with him.
Okay, gotcha. In that case, so how much was it for would it be for a +1 weapon? How much would it be for a flame tongue? I forget.
+1 weapon would cost around 1,000. A flame tongue be around 3,000.
Even for someone as pretty as me. Hmm. Give me a second to see what I have to sell.
Any magical arrows at all?
There are. There's various arrows of slaying, depending on what you're hunting. There's just generally enchanted arrows. They're well crafted and a little cheaper because, as you would learn, they generally consume their enchantment when fired.
Are there any that would be particularly good against undead?
There are undead slaying arrows.
How much are those a pop?
For a quiver of 20, it'd be 2,000. About 200 per arrow.
Never mind.
100 per arrow. Sorry.
I should bail.
You can buy the arrows individually for about 100 gold per arrow.
100 gold per.
Yeah.
That's a bill outside my price range.
So I have 1 potion of speed left. How much does that sell for?
A potion of speed. You'd be able to sell it for around 100 gold.
Gold and potion of dragon breath.
About the same.
200. We still have. So question in our potty storage from the Dirtlas's cave, we have various gems and art worth 1,217 gold. I'm assuming we couldn't sell that for exactly that much, but how much would we get if we stole it? Or is it exactly that?
That's what you would get.
Could I just say we sell that and add it to the party fund then, for simplicity's sake?
Yeah.
Okay. So party fund is now.
But we can go over, what you guys are buying.
Yeah.
Later. Yeah.
Upstream.
Yeah. That's great.
Unless there's something like really specific you're trying to get before you go to Gille's.
No. We were just trying to make sure we did that shopping.
Magna would like to try and find if there's like a smithing district.
There is. There's a sort of steel street with a row of smiths. Various qualities, some selling armor, some selling weapons. And there's a few other smiths sort of scattered around the city, especially close to the gate. The ones closer to the gate usually are going to be doing more horseshoeing, nails, and wainwriting. Whereas ones more in town on the smithing street are going to be more weapons and armor for knights and.
Okay, looking for the least fancy looking shop in that district. Maybe it's like off down a side alley or something. Maybe a smaller one and a.
You would head in and it sort of run down, doesn't look like it does a lot of business. you would see a human woman working the forge and sort of the heavy sort of burlap materials and leather apron. But what would catch your eye is that her apprentice appears to be one of the halflings for Endara, sort of thin, looks young, shorter than most, sort of a spry, lithe individual. And uh, you would, as you would approach, see a dragonborn gentleman or woman leaving, sort of carrying a few buckets of supplies and materials out to another shop. They give each other a hug and kiss and, as they're walking out and head in. And make a religion check.
Okay. That is a 13.
All right. So you would recognize symbols hung up in the shop for Ohanya, Ao, and Dezka. Holy symbols for them around. And you would know from stories that halflings are supposedly children given to couples by Ohanya. It's a blessing. Halflings are made from basically if two people can't have a child for whatever reason, naturally, they can pray to Ohanya and they'll bless them. So you kind of immediately pick up, especially with the symbol for Ohanya there, that this halfling working in the forge is likely their child.
Good day to you. And
Good day.
blessings of Deskar be upon you and your forge.
The young child kind of the younger halfling, I would say, blessings of Tezca. There aren't a lot of worshippers of the god of the forge here in Amaris, but we hope that our work honors him.
Well, I would wonder if you would mind sharing some of your work. I'm assuming you're an apprentice here?
I am. I am apprentice under my mother, Laurel.
Oh, your mother, so you too are a blessing.
My name's Sebastian. Yes, I was a blessing from the gods upon my mothers. They were quite blessed. I would like to say I kind of follow under their footsteps. Not quite as strong as Cora, my fiery mother that you just saw leaving, but and kind of leans in. Not quite as rude as Luau. She kind of glares back at him. But,
Well, it is neither of those qualities that makes the greatest of smiths. You show me the work that you're most proud of.
I'm most proud of.
Yeah.
I made it for myself, but kind of walks over and uh, picks up this uh, what looks like a smaller warhammer, kind of built very similar to a forge hammer, but it's a bit bigger than you would normally use in a forge. It's definitely got bigger heft to the head of it, and it's definitely the handle's a little rough. The wood hasn't worked, and there's a lot of poor strikes in the steel that was used. But what does catch your eye is that there is a flow to it that somehow the dents and dings and sort of poor hammer marks don't make it look awkward. They just sort of enhance the shape a bit, like fresh sculpted clay, and it almost looks like he worked the metal like a clay.
I
But-
commend you for keeping going. I know many that would have, like, misstruck and melted down, and no, you kept going, and you brought the weapon out that wanted to be. I can see that.
I kind of saw it in the middle, and it fought with me, and it was like a battle between the steel's resistance on hardness, wanting to bend from itself and keep its original form and its destiny. And I was the brave adventurer that through my workings brought it out. I think every item you craft has a story.
Right.
My
And
mother thinks
whereas,
silly.
no, no, I mean, like, take my mace here. It's common mine number 47. It doesn't tell a story at all.
You're from the Cormand Mines?
Oh yes, I'm a.
I've heard the residium from your mines is the purest in all of Lumaria. How do you smelt it? All the residium I've ever seen, it refuses to heat in the flames. It won't. It's unyielding.
You should see the forges, although I wouldn't go too near them. Well, you might be all right going near them. To me, the heat and the fumes are unbearable, but spectacular, nonetheless.
I've heard. Is it true that their Cormand, that their hearth forge is built into the magma of the volcano itself?
You're not wrong. And that yes, and there are items which can only be forged there, and items which I wish could be destroyed there, but can't, because as hot as those forges are, and you'd think you wouldn't get much hotter than magma. If you really want to know a forge, what you need is the Asgardian forges. Now they would put the Corman mines to shame.
Ishgardian forges.
Oh,
Are
they
there
could
any that
reach
still exist?
temperatures that are no. I don't know that there's any trace of them left, but if we could make one of those again, then Residium would be as easy to work as bare steel.
This is why I wish to go to Cutania. I've heard stories of the Cutanian Sun Forge, and I would love to see it someday.
That is an interesting thought for what could be forged. Yes, actually, me too.
But
For as much as I cannot stand working in the forges, it makes me dizzy and faint. The technologies and the techniques and the methodologies of them fascinate me still. And if you'd allowed me, I'd pass some of that knowledge on to you if you would be so kind as to take on a commission.
We're always looking for work. What would you like?
I would like to replace my mace with one that has a story, much as the one that you crafted for yourself does.
Would you like me or my mother to take this commission? I can bring her over. I know she's heating some steel right now.
I'm sure her work is exemplary, but I feel that you have more stories to tell, and I'd like to see where you go with this, and I would like to commission it from you.
All right. You said this was a standard one. Do you know? He kind of asks you some questions about the weight that you're looking for, and has you wield and swing a couple of their like pre-made maces that are there, and get a feel for like which one you like and which one you don't.
Yep.
And he says, if you're looking for a story, he kind of goes over. Normally, we just my mother tells me what steel and ore to use, but we have a few options here for different bits of slag, and he shows you a few different bits of ore and steel ingots if you'd like to choose.
Oh yeah.
one.
Start sorting through them and pick out what I think will work.
All right. Okay. He says, it will take me a few days to work the steel into a shape, and I can prepare a wooden hilt. Or would you like a steel?
Or I think steel.
Of course. I'll have that as long as I can get it right. Give me 4 days. I do have a few other things I'm working on.
I'll tell you what, I'll pay in advance because our travel plans can be somewhat unpredictable at times. So don't fret if I don't turn up within the 4 days. I will come back. And just keep it to the side for me. Magnar Smeltbrow is the name.
I wouldn't forget you. I never forget a face.
That's a skill I should work on.
Before you go, he kind of looks around. It's like, let me show you the steel again real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Just as she colored his mom kind of looking over and like continue about her business. And he looks and he says, so there was a Cutanian traveler here about a month ago. He had told me all about the Sunforge. He was one of those Cutanian knights, the big glorious armor of golden metal, right? And he told me that they use glass to reflect the light of the sun to heat the metal, right? And so I took a couple of magnifying glasses and tried to set it up and got in trouble. I burned the house down. But would you like to see it?
Oh, yes, I would be fascinated to see that. How large were the lenses? Let's have a look. Let's see.
He takes it back, and you can see like he's jury rigged these long metal arms with just a couple of like magnifying glasses and broken bits of windows that he's trying to set up and mirrors to refract the light, and you can see the side of the barn out back is just scorched and burned. And a couple of the lenses are cracked. I couldn't heat the metal, but
Well, you'd need a slightly different refractive index, and you'd want to be looking at a larger lens, maybe a crystalline structure as opposed to glass. That's fascinating. Magna may be lost for the rest of.
talking with the kids, eventually gets yelled at by his mom.
Right, well, hopefully I'll be returning in 4 days and see where you're at. And I may have some diagrams for other ways for you to set up the lenses when I return.
I'll keep trying. You'd meet up with everybody again that evening.
Oh, by the way, Magna, I bought these diamonds because I know the Queen didn't refund you for them.
Oh, great. Yes. Right. Do you trust me with
yeah.
all of them, or do you want to sort of divvy them up a bit?
I'll take one, you take two, or do we want Barry to take? He's clearly very responsible, so.
I'll take two. You keep one.
All right. Well, it's not really 2 in 1's like.
I know it's like that. Would like divide it up. It'll be fine.
And by the way, I did utilize the money the Queen sent us because she wasn't refunding us for the diamond, but she gave us money, so it kind of evens out, I suppose.
Right then. Still don't die.
You know what? I will give at least 85% of my effort to not doing that because you asked.
I did say please as well. Excellent. Good.
Oh, you said please. Oh, I didn't. 95% then.
Excellent. I don't say that very often. I'm trying to get better at it.
Anais,
Yes.
do you still have that ring with you?
It's at the house right now in lead, but I do have it. Yes.
Oh, get it back by chance.
I mean, of course. Oh, we talked about this. You want to see if we can break the enchantment on it, right?
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
the illusion on it.
Yeah, no, of course I can. And she'd bring it next time she was over, so and give it to Garth. So during all the shopping and stuff.
Yeah, would the person we go to buy enchanted weapons be a good person for this as well?
Probably not, because they would generally be unable to break the enchantments or disenchant things.
Okay.
May I look around for someone who can?
You could.
I'll try.
I will help Garth with this. I have no proficiency in investigation, but I will help him regardless.
The person that lives in the city and actually knows mages here will also try and help.
Good. Since we don't know what we're doing, we're just going to follow you.
Yes,
but we'll pretend we
yes.
do know what we're doing.
Plus, I said I'd help Garth ages ago when this got brought up. So
Oh, yeah. Like the 3 episodes, right? 4.
Do you want to make the check?
I can make the check. What
Investigation?
Yeah, please.
With advantage, right? Like she knows.
I would say it would be an advantage because you don't know the city. But actually, what I will say that you know, Anais, is that the general process of disenchanting usually destroys the item. The sometimes you can get out base materials or components
Mm-hmm.
from the disenchanting, but once you enchant an item, there is a certain level of permanence to that is very hard to disrupt, and permanently trying to strip the magic out of the item will generally destroy it.
Would I know better in that case then, based on how based on what I know about that, and I know Garth's goal, would it therefore be logical in Anna's mind to simply re-enchant the ring with a illusion of what it actually looks like? Overwrite what's on it. Aha, the great mind.
I was thinking.
Yeah, so instead of trying to dispel the illusion, I could just add a new enchant major image or minor image or whatever.
Is this just like an illusion inception then?
Yes.
An illusion within an illusion within an illusion.
Oh, deeper.
Would that work?
Or I could just overwrite it with something, or have somebody else overwrite it with something else, and then it would reveal its true form.
How much is this ring worth? Raw value.
Raw value, just material wise, like if you're just looking at like the gold and stuff that was used in the overall general enchantment for the enchanted signet rings that they use, you're looking at 500-600, maybe 1,000 gold, depending on the crafter and the house. The fact that it's a signet ring for a great house on the black market would fetch a bit of a higher price.
Oh, yeah.
If you could find someone that wanted to buy it.
Not a chance.
As for the illusion enchantment that's on it, make an Arcana check.
Ooh.
Probably at ace, I would say, but
Yes.
So
28.
Have to know that the rings themselves are generally enchanted and have a permanence. Gille would have most likely put some magic on top of it to alter its appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's more Gille's permanence that you have to contend with, which if you could find either the source of the thing providing the magical energy to maintain the enchantment, or the keyword / command word, or even kill Gille, it would end that enchantment. But anything like another person could dispel it temporarily, but as long as the source powering it is still around, the enchantment would always be there. If the enchantment was baked into the ring, like someone crafted it with it, or Gille took the ring that wasn't magical and then made it magical, it would probably you wouldn't be able to alter it, and you'd take it, destroy it. But you're looking at it, your understanding is not that Gille made the ring itself magical, it's that he's cast something on it, like an illusion spell.
Ross, did I hear you right? That you said if we killed Jill, it would be dispelled?
Yes.
So that means he's still alive.
No, that's one. I like if Gille is the one providing magical energy
Yeah.
to it, then
Okay.
he would have to die to do it. Like if he's concentrating on the spell, so
Right.
to speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he has a device or something that he's used to put the enchantment on, that
So-
could be stopped. Or if it's a really powerful spell, it might have a command word that would stop it.
So Anna would probably think about all this on the way back from her house, and she would bring the ring in the lead box and bring it to Garth when we're all meeting up right now, and just kind of explain that to Garth and summarize it with, I don't think that we should mess with it until we look through his house, because there might be a clue there on how to set this thing back to normal. If you want it to be usable, it probably is the best idea to poke around his place first.
Well, that's handy. We're going to do that anyway.
I mean, yes, I really not excited about poking around in his house, but
Not even a little bit. Come on.
I mean, I guess I feel kind of sick right now, and I haven't felt right since the medal ceremony, but I guess that there could be some fun in it, maybe.
You could
depending
take
on what
one of
things we
each of his
find.
socks.
I feel like it's more of a Hadrian thing. But then again, if we find something like, he does actually have Macy's books, that would just tickle me pink.
Wait, are you okay? Sorry, I realized I was muted, by the way. Are you okay? You said you haven't been feeling right.
Oh, I'm fine. It's because I turned my ring in. When you're attuned to a magical artifact and you wear it for literal years of your life, and then you take it off, it's kind of a drain on your body. And when you're so used to seeing everything with true sight and you suddenly can't anymore, it feels like you're wearing blinders after 20 plus years with that ring on my hand. So I'm fine. It's just that, and it'll take a couple weeks probably for the side effects to wear off.
I'm not going to make an insight check there. But I will not. Well, if you need anything, Barry is here for you.
I mean, what I need is probably more drinking with Garth, but
Barry
after
is here. What did I just say? Barry is here for you.
I have a
'Cause he'll-
chance of drinking Garth under the table, I don't think I can take Barry.
No shot.
Yeah, I
Not
have a
even a
shot.
little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Not even a little bit.
Oh, please. You don't
Oh.
think I've done a bit of drinking in my time and the things that I've seen in the city?
Goth has been teaching me to drink for the past 2 days. This is a challenge, I think, and we
As
should all
Barry
keep an eye.
starts rolling a barrel.
I want to sell this.
I wasn't thinking this is Barry. I
Just
was
stands
thinking
on it
about
challengingly, puffing his chest out.
Do we want to sell this tonight?
Let's do Jill's house first. And
Of course,
then
after-
No, we probably shouldn't do his house drunk.
Yes, let's go over now.
But
Wait,
when we get
wait.
back.
Maybe that's the only way we should.
When we
do
get
it
back,
to his
when
house.
we get back drinking, yes,
Yes.
this is gonna happen.
But
Shall we
given
go?
that there's likely wards and traps and God knows
Yeah,
what
of
else in the
course,
house.
of course.
Speaking of that, even though I don't have my ring and all the officialness and stuff, I would appreciate if you let me take point on going into the house, just because of wards and things like that, considering I've worked with the man long enough and my background. If we are walking headfirst into his glyphs and
Ah.
traps,
Yes, would have
I'll
been
keep
nice
an
to have the
eye
ring for
outside.
one more day, but I imagine you'll be saying that for some time yet.
I'll
I
keep
mean-
a lookout outside the house.
could Barry keep a lookout almost? I feel like we might need you depending on what we find inside. Well, I also want you to help keep an eye out for anything related to the ring, Garth, but it's up to you.
I'll
I'll-
give it a shot.
So my proposed order is Anais, myself, Magna. Well, I want to be there to jump in front of a trap anyway. With Stora Goth.
That's fine by me.
So, what do you mean jump in front of a trap? So, a trap goes off, it's not going to hit anybody, and you go, hey,
He's-
jump
he-
into it.
He's trying to be self-sacrificing. He just wants to jump in front of anything that he can.
Right.
It's just that I know this all of you are very fragile.
So that drinking contest. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm up for it. I mean, you want to go now, but I don't think you do. So,
to Jill's.
I'm
You guys
tougher
make
than I
way
look.
through the city to the very large, opulent, sort of 3-story manor house that is Gille's estate. You can see it is a bit unkempt, and despite the very nice neighborhood, and the grass looks kind of blackened around in the garden a little bit with different scorch marks. You notice about 2 inches into the grass from the sidewalk, past the iron fence, there's little burnt corpses of bugs and little creatures, other small animals that tried to crawl through. The gate seems is currently shut, and there are a few other houses in the area, but it's a fairly large section of town. The houses are fairly large, and there's a lot of streets and sideways between each of them. And as you guys are approaching, you notice most of the other houses don't seem to have a lot of activity going on, and then there aren't very many lights. There aren't really lights on. You don't seem to see people out. There's one of them does have a few horses and a stage, just pulled off to the coach is sitting next to the house, and the horses are tied into a small barn on the side, just grazing on some food. But otherwise, the place is mostly empty. The area of town, the lanterns are lit, and as you guys all approach, you can see the curtains behind the open windows billowing in Gille's estate. You approach the gate.
As we walk up, Anna's just going to kind of be idly waving one of her hands in the air, and she's going to cast, as they get up to the gate, she's going to cast Detect Magic, which she will have up for 10 minutes. And she'll be concentrating on it to have it the entire time.
The first thing that you notice is there are signs that an alarm spell was cast on the fence and gate, but has been tripped and is inactive. There is also a I can never remember the name of the spell, but
Glyph of warding.
Yeah, a glyph of warding.
Damn, Garth, you
it's one spell that always
It comes up so often in our games,
and I can never remember its name. But that there were glyphs and are sort of permanent glyphs of warding inlaid in the iron bars of the fence, and your best guess is that they are holding some kind of evocation spell, knowing Gille, likely fire or lightning of some kind. And by the scorched little corpses around. The other thing that you notice is that there is illusion, conjuration, and necromancy on the doors. And this is the first time you notice, as you're kind of looking at the gate and looking, is that there are actually 2 front doors to the house. They have these sort of gargoyle knockers, like hanging with the large ring from their mouth on both of the doors.
And is it 2 separate entrances with a space between them, or is it like a double door?
It's like it'd be a single door, but instead of being one door that's centered, it's 2 doors with like a divide between.
Okay.
But you're seeing the illusion magic creating the illusion of the 2 doors.
So what is the reality that I see? That there's 1 door or 2? I'm seeing a hidden door.
You're seeing that the single door has an illusion to create 2, and it looks like there's some kind of magic set in it that if you don't do something right, it'll trigger.
Okay. Well, this is exactly like I feared. Nobody touched the fence. And we
Noted.
might not have. There's probably fireballs or something else nasty stored on the fence if you tried to climb the fence or touch the fence. But I think somebody else might have already beat us here for a bit of looting because his alarm spells, the ones I can see anyway, look like they've been tripped.
Oh, and there's no magic on the gate itself anymore.
Yeah.
It looks
yeah.
like there was spells on the gate,
Yeah.
like lock and stuff like that. And those are gone.
So what? Somebody just walked in.
Well, somebody could have dispelled, somebody could have set it off, and she just walks up and pushes the gate open. Everything here has been
Creaks open.
discharged.
I'm gonna be staying within exactly 10 feet of Anais this entire time.
We do have
Just in case.
We do have a bit of a puzzle though already, which is interesting because I didn't think he's a puzzle type. And she just points at the door as she kind of takes a few steps into the day.
As you guys look, you see two doors.
Oh, like which door should we use? Left or right?
Something like that. There's an illusion spell on the door. There's actually, if you pick the wrong door or do the wrong thing, I think something bad's going to happen because there is a bunch of different types of magic on that door, including necromancy. So there's obviously a right answer and a wrong answer.
Is there any kind of hint? A riddle, by chance?
Wait a second. You're saying that this door's what we're seeing is not how they were constructed?
Not particularly. There are two. It's what I can tell you what I see, and maybe you can infer from that is that there's a door that has two knockers on it with a bit of a divide in the middle, and there are seriously there.
Sorry.
And there's about 4 or 5 different types of magic on it, and it's kind of all vibrating together. It's all mixed together. So probably not the way that it was originally put together. Yes.
Make an Arcana check.
I will be spending it here.
Inspiration. You can use inspiration.
I don't want to use inspiration on that. 17.
So your best guess, just from the distance of the side, at the gate, just looking at the door, your best guess would be, it looks like both of the doors will open and let you in.
Mm-hmm.
But the wrong door, you can't tell which one is the wrong door because it's the same door. But it looks like if you pick the wrong door, someone tried to walk in through the wrong door or didn't use the right phrase, they would walk into someplace else instead of the house and trigger whatever magic.
Basically, one door is a trap. If we choose the wrong one or knock the wrong amount of times, we could get a nasty surprise. There is a chance I could just cast a spell magic on it, but considering other things that we might run into and how he probably foresaw that and has some kind of a knockback if I try to do that.
Oh, that's probably a good thought because I was thinking.
But we can go investigate at least. And
it
leads him closer.
Clues around the door.
So you guys approach. You see the two knockers, and one of them opens its mouth and says, "Welcome." The other one says, "Hello."
How are you guys?
Fine. I'm doing great.
So, what's the deal here? How do we get inside?
Well, the only way in is to try one of us.
How do we know which one we should try?
The other one says, "Well, one of us leads inside, the other one leads to certain death."
Okay.
I do know Fireball too. Maybe we just try that.
Maybe we stab them, yeah. But how do we know which one does which, though? Come on, like.
Well, one of us always tells the truth. One of us always lies.
So one of you leads inside, one leads to sudden death. One tells the truth, one always lies.
That must be a terribly dull existence.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Hey,
Yeah.
if I were to ask you both, who told the truth? Which would the other one point to or say?
I do. They both say in unison.
No, I was saying, which one would they say told the truth, not you?
They both say me.
Anna steps up closer to him and like looks at both of them for a moment and goes, "Which door leads to certain death?"
That one.
They both point at the same one.
The one that you're looking at, the chipper one, says that one, and the grumpy one says me.
So they do both point at the same one then.
Mm-hmm.
Which one told us about how it works?
They both did.
They can't.
That is the canonical problem with this riddle, I will say.
Now, one of the doors said, the chipper one said,
Oh.
Yeah, said one of them always tells the truth, and the other one said one of them always lies.
mm-hmm.
I mean, based on what these two have said so far, the door that they just indicated should be the one that is the wrong choice, at least as far as I believe it. This feels like more of a dwarven thing to me, Magnar.
Oh. Well, I could tell you about how the house was constructed and how the doors were made, but nonsense like this.
I was just thinking because of how much research you've done, it feels like you'd have a better mind for it than me.
This seems such a terribly trite and trivial and somewhat pointless
Hey,
use of magic.
I'm going to go to the left one, the chipper one, and say, do you tell the truth?
Always.
Does your companion tell the truth?
Nope, never.
I go to the other one. Do you tell the truth?
Yeah.
Does your companion tell the truth?
Never.
So they're both lying.
No,
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 it's symmetrical.
one telling the truth, because the one who tells the truth would say they're telling the truth and tell you that the other one's lying, and the one who lies would tell you that they're telling the truth and the other one's lying.
That's why I asked, though, originally, I wanted each of them to say,
Or so,
hey,
no, he does say, the grumpy one says that he tells the truth, and he tells you that the other one tells the truth as well.
see, this is the thing. So I wanted to ask, right? Like I asked, if I were to ask you both, okay?
The gargoyles kind of turn their head to each other, look back.
Yeah.
One of them
If I were to
shrugs, the other one nods
Who
excitedly.
told the truth? What would the other one say?
They both say I did.
They both say they told the truth.
Mm-hmm.
No. But I'm asking them, what would the other one say?
They're both saying that the other one would say that the other door told the truth.
I look at one on the left.
Oh, hang on a second. I think they're both liars.
Yeah,
That's what I just said.
it's definitely not the original.
Yeah, no, I
Definitely
definitely
not
just
the
said.
original,
Or
yeah.
so they both lie, right? Like,
Yeah.
I look at the grumpy one. Hi. Does your companion tell the truth?
Yep.
You know what? If we want to test that, I ask him, "Are you a door knocker?"
The grumpy one?
Yeah.
No, I'm a sultan. I was imprisoned here.
And then I
Gille's
asked
an asshole that trapped me in the door.
the other one, "Are you a door knocker?"
Yep, always been one.
I didn't ask you if you've always been one. I'm asking if you're one now. So he says he is currently a door knocker, and the other one says he's not a door knocker. So they're not both lying. Or they're not.
Oh, did he just clam up?
He just he clams up.
Which one?
Okay.
The one.
Yeah,
the
without
triple
without
one.
the claws, he couldn't answer.
I
Yeah.
stab one of the door knockers. I just want to see if they react.
Sparks.
What does he say other than ow ow?
Well, no. So we said if so Frosty. Sorry, just so I can recap. I asked. I asked the grumpy one, "Are you currently a door knocker?"
And he said, no, he's a sultan.
All right. So he's saying he's not a door knocker, and the other one, when I ask him if he's currently a door knocker, he says nothing.
If you restrict it to just, is he currently a door knocker?
I
Yes.
asked him if he's currently
The
a
other
door
one
knocker.
said he was a sultan and now been trapped in a door.
Right. But you see, the thing is that I didn't ask him if he was a sultan. I'm asking him if he's currently a door knocker, regardless of how he got to be there. He's either a door knocker or he's not. So he's clearly lying because he is clearly a door knocker. We can see it.
Well, he said he got trapped in a door. I think he's.
This is about currently using this riddle with two people. It doesn't actually work. Is the problem, right? Like, you can't.
No, I modified it. I just had some inspiration.
So one leads in, one.
You make an insight check.
I will
if
do
anyone
that.
would like to.
I would love to do that with
Yeah, 'cause
inspiration.
This is not making sense to me. It's not clear what they're saying to me. Like I don't understand the answers I'm getting in general.
And I will use a hero point just for shits and giggles.
Don't worry. You guys both got good enough rolls. Through asking them some questions, you realize they are both lying and trying to, in some way, play a game and trick you. And
is there a door in between them? By any chance?
I mean,
That's
not one that I can see.
it just appears to be the two doors.
Looking at the masonry, what was
But
constructed to be here?
Wait, Frosty.
You guys have good enough insight to know Gille is an ass. Why would he
Make some riddle that you have to
have
answer.
a riddle with a trap door, or even have, if you put a trap on his door, why would he have one door trapped and one door not trapped?
Yeah, this is all just bullshit.
Hey, I'm gonna look at both of them and just say, all right, you're kindling, and I'll open one.
It's not saying one of them isn't still trapped.
No, I think they're both trapped.
But there is a trap. Anna East can see the doors are seemingly connected to this magic. So you're welcome to open the door.
So they're both trapped, basically.
There is a trap. That's not really how magic works.
You know what, Frosty? I'm gonna walk around the side of the house and see if there's another entrance. Is there a back door?
The dog door.
I will join with Store on this.
As you walk around, you do see different windows and such, but and in the back there is a door that leads into it's a lower level. In the back goes down a hill. and you can see a door into the back on the lower level. But that does have arcane runes and symbols on it.
Does anything stick out of the ordinary?
And on each, Gille, make an insight check.
Does anything stick out looks weird?
Other than the arcane runes?
Yeah.
Just
21.
the unkept yard. So Anna, Gille is all about magical superiority.
Mhm.
He is absolutely the type that would use dispel magic to get into his house every day.
Anna pauses for a moment as this thought
Right.
hits her, and she's gonna rock up onto her tippy toes and then down onto the heels of her boots and just sigh and look over at Magnar and Hadrian. Okay. I think we've been going about this wrong. Did you want to stand back so I can try something?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I think the asshole literally cast this spell every time he decided to come home, because that seems very Jill Duray. I'm going to try just dispelling it, like I said originally.
If it casts the spell magic, the illusionary and portal doors will disappear, leaving the original door.
Oh my god.
So anyone who was trying to break in or use knock to enter the door forcefully would walk into a trap.
Yep. Anna's
or
going to
stand outside trying to figure out the riddle until guards or Jill came home.
Anna's gonna message with Story and Garth and be like, "We figured it out. The door's open."
Oh my god, I could, never mind. Not gonna say it.
We're just gonna go in and pretend that it didn't take us this long to figure that out.
No, it wasn't about that. It was about you. But it doesn't matter.
Wait, what?
What?
What did I do?
Who? You? What? What are you talking about?
Anna walks up and opens the door.
Hadrian is blushing behind her and will. Yep.
And on the inside, you can see all of the arcane inlays and rune work and sigils and everything to create the doors and portal and illusion and necromantic magic all set up and seemingly ready to be charged and powered up. There seems to be a looks like a crystal socket that currently the crystal is not glowing, that you would place into the door frame. And the immediate hall entrance or goes forward, and there's a small closet to one side and a bench. And then that opens up deeper into the manor. As the dispel magic would eventually wear off after you guys go in, you would see all of the runes light back up, and the crystal the crystal glows first, and then all the runes would light back up. I can't hear you, Anis.
Just thinking.
But looking around, the place is fairly well kept. The bottom ground mostly has large, fairly unused guest rooms, like lounges and places to meet people. There is a very large study on the ground floor, and you can see rows and rows of books and scrolls all set up. A small pile on the desk with a couple of magnifying glasses. And as you make your way through the house, it looks like the staff haven't been here for several days. Most likely not since the morning after the masquerade, as best as you can tell. And you kind of look around, and you do find Gille's room. There's a few paintings of different people from the Prismari family. Small office. There looks to be a large ritual room for practicing, like built and designed to aid in longer ritual spell casting, and shelves with magical components and everything like that. But will you please make investigation checks?
I'm gonna use locate object, by the way.
Okay.
To try and find any piece of paper with the name Hadriel. I'm trying to be clever here with the use of the spells. So like I don't, but
I know it's tricky because it says it has to be an object familiar to you.
yeah, I know, but I'm
Yeah, it's either familiar or of a particular kind. So you could say a jewel, a letter, a scroll, furniture, a sword. But
a name inked.
no, because that's not a type of
That's
object.
fair enough.
Investigation rolls so far with Stora 12 and a 20, Garth 17.
Give me a
Yeah,
second.
Tony did not say mine. Yeah.
No, it's all good.
Sorry. Redo that.
17.
Nope.
All right. So, as you guys are looking through the house, for most of you, it's surprisingly bland. There are not a lot of like personal effects. But what you get a read on is that there's at least a lot of family pride, sort of lineage, paintings of parents and ancestors, or more specifically the ancestors. You don't see any references like any immediate family pictures or portraits or anything like that. The office mostly has reports and crime reports and is tracking movements of different people and pretty heady and detailed investigatory notes and aid requests for different locations and places. However, on the east, with your detect magic up, it's faint but kind of hidden around one of the stairways that goes up, right out at the back as the room kind of enters around. You can detect that the wall is illusionary. And Magnar, you notice that the stones, each stone in that section of the house, like that sort of L shape of wall, are all identically carved. The exact same measurements, the exact same size, have the exact same little nicks and dents in them.
Yeah, she'd beeline towards it. I don't think she would notice what the way that Magnar notices about it, but she would beeline to it and call out to everybody else.
Oh, you noticed it too?
You can see that?
What, the suspiciously identical bricks?
Wait, you son of a bitch. I saw the magical aura leaking around it, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
It
look,
didn't put
see
a lot
that
of
little
effort
crack
into
there with the little sort of like, looks like a snake? It's like, it's on every single brick as you go up.
that. You mean it's like they repeated the same asteroid texture with the hole over the wall?
I lacks imagination or resources, but yes, bit of a tell.
I can't see through it, right?
No.
I would say in most situations I'd be fine sticking my head through something like this, but not in Jill de Ray's house to dispel magic.
As you dispel the magic, you see some small wooden planks sort of setting up a frame. So, like if you had accidentally walked in or leaned against it, you would have leaned against something solid to complete the illusion. But the one area where there isn't, sort of on the side, like the stairs are there, and then where you would step down or up into the stairs, the wall is not there. You can see the stairway going down, but there is up above a large scythe blade hanging just above head height. So if you had leaned into that wall, it probably would have dropped. You would have fallen downstairs and no one would see the bottom.
Yep, I'm really glad that I decided to not stick my head in that.
Right, yes. Don't stick head through imaginary walls. It's a good tip.
Yeah, usually not scythes on the other side, I'd think, but
It's Jill the fucking Ray. Come on.
well, so are there stairs? There's just stairs going down. Or there's
There is a staircase
Okay.
going down into a lower level.
So you all mentioned spiders and basements and all kinds of stuff. Who wants to take the lead on this one?
I do.
Be my guest.
I guess.
Yes. And I will sing as I walk down.
Would you like some guidance before you head off?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
All right. Make a deck save for me.
Hey, guess what? I'm much better at this now than I used to be. So
Wait, what are you? Is the scythe going after
You
him?
didn't disarm it. No one disarmed the trap.
21.
All right. So as you hear the and quickly just sort of sidestep.
I give Anais a death glare. Like, you could have warned me that was there.
The trap. Sure, could have done that. Magnar, do you think you can help me with this one?
Wait, are we just gonna? Fine. You know.
And you're still you can still walk down the stairs now that you bypass the trap, but make another deck save for me.
Natural 20.
So you just you're kind of walking around and notice these sort of suspicious cracks and holes and things, and
I think I trigger all of them, and he's like gone because I want to make it like, oh, this is fun. Okay,
make a performance check for me, just for the hell of it.
Yeah. At advantage, come on, that was a natural 20. Can I get another performance check? Thank you. 29.
So yeah, you literally just sort of waltz and tiptoe and dance down the stairs, setting off sights, little fireballs, spikes shoot out the side.
And I dance with one of the spikes as a firebolt shoots out. I duck under it, put my hand up so that the fire is in the hand, and just just.
Adrian, what the bloody hell are you doing down there?
And
I don't know.
And you do see a what looks like a lever built into the side of the wall.
And this seems to be the deactivation lever,
Yeah.
correct? Okay, I will pull it. Yeah.
Hopefully not the reset.
It's clear, everybody. Sorry.
And when you turn off, you guys watch all the traps pull back and reset, but you don't hear any clicking or arming sounds.
Mm.
Well, he's not setting any more off.
As a very well studied wizard, Anais, when you get down, you would realize that the lever is just within range for Mage Hand. So someone could deactivate it from afar with Mage Hand if they knew what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But as you guys get down, as Hadria gets down, the torches automatically light up. There's a large sort of square-shaped room. It's huge. And there is a large altar or study table at the center of stone. There's different bits of papers and notes piled up on it. Along the wall, there's a whole bunch of notes are put up and arcane sigils drawn, and threads pulling to each of them. There's a strange and unusual tank filled with a greenish bubbling liquid that's about body-sized. Off in the far corner with several sigils and runes on it. A whole bunch of weird knickknacks and bones and little jars filled with things to study. Casting supplies, incense that some of which has ignited as you guys have come in, and there is a small side room that is open. There's a door kind of hanging open to it, but you can't see inside of it. And trying to make sure I got a couple of things that you would notice is one device that's sitting on the table looks like a large board with gold and brass inlays, and it looks like there's a large scroll of paper on one side pulled up and around and over, so it would lay flat, and the scroll is just continues to trail down onto the floor off of the table that it's sitting on, and there's an arm on it that's sort of standing up and has these branches coming off holding several threads to a pendulum with bronze and gold with a crystal diamond at the center point that's got black ink on the tip and is currently like swaying back and forth in some pattern across the scroll as the scroll continues to move down. And on one of the other sides of the table, on a small table in the corner, there is a square box shape with some of it looks wooden, some of it looks like it's been replaced with some sort of glass material, and you can see inside. And there's a whole bunch of bronze cogs and gears and mechanisms and pulleys of mostly a strange bronzish colored metal that resembles Magnar's goldfish, but has been replaced with bits of steel, gold, and iron. But all of those materials seem to be Magnar, you would be able to tell, are wearing down and breaking down, while the other materials aren't. The bronze material isn't, and it's inlaid and very intricate and sort of Art Deco inlays and runes set up, and it's got this sort of spinning two metal bits that hold a metal cylinder in the center, and there's a small bit coming off that looks like it scrapes into the cylinder, and there's several wax cylinders next to it, and there is a large sort of cone coming off of it that opens into a giant horn shape.
What the bloody hell is this?
Frosty. Question.
Mhm.
These things seem Ishgardian.
They
in
are.
nature.
You would recognize them as
So yes. So what would I know anything about them? Is what I was asking. Other than that,
make an
there's
Arcana check at disadvantage.
disadvantage. Oh, great. Yeah, I'm gonna do great here, you guys. 3. That's shiny.
The only thing you know is that those cylinders used to be used to pass orders from camp to camp during wartime.
Like with sound.
You don't know. They were always given to superiors or commanders. You'd see them carrying them to tents and stuff.
It's unfortunate that I don't have better memory.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go. Give me a second.
I was gonna say, did it resemble anything from the books that I'd been reading?
Not particularly.
Okay.
The inlay, the workings, the symbols on the gears, all of that stuff looks familiar. But
But what it is.
I'm gonna say Hadrian just goes into a fetal position and just sits there.
Just out of nowhere, just walks over and goes into a fetal position.
I mean, you see him staring at the horns and things, and he starts to sort of hyperventilate a little bit, and then just goes and starts muttering in whoever speaks Mythic would understand what he's saying. Is just sort of like Macbethian, like blood death. Just goes into a corner and just sits and puts his hands over his temples and starts rocking back and forth.
Does he do that often?
Not quite like that. No.
I'll walk up and just glance at the devices closer myself after seeing the way that Hadrian reacted to him and just see if I notice anything particular about them.
all right. So the first thing that you notice as you look at the thing kind of moving the paper out is the
Mhm.
pendulum is actually writing a description, like describing stuff,
Yeah.
writing on the paper. And at first, it doesn't make sense. But as you look at it, it is describing everything within 10 feet of the ring as it happens.
So is it not doing anything right now? Because the ring is still in the lead box, I'm pretty sure. Unless we do.
Well, I thought you guys played out to take with, but so right now it would say, in a dark box, just repeating over and over again.
You didn't take it out, right, Evan? Did we left it? I thought. Okay.
No, it's left. Yeah, it's left.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Yeah, she would
like you can glance at the paper and see like the moment like when you took it out to check it, like it describes like what you were doing, what was at 10 feet, how it was being held, as if you were reading it from a book.
Is it in common?
Yes.
So she'll actually wave Garth over and be like, Garth, look at this. And she's gonna pick the paper up a bit and like hold it up to show him. And Trace, she knows she's gonna pick it up and like trace this and read it out to him and like read a couple of the box lines until like it describes what she did with the ring. And after that, she'll like look at him and go, This is why I was so paranoid about you having that thing. This is tracking anything around that ring.
Can we get rid of it?
Oh, no, not yet. I have a very important use for it.
Wait, what?
Go on.
Right. Sorry, can I take the ring out of the box for a minute?
Why not be the best idea in here?
No, it really would. We could destroy the piece of paper as soon as it comes out.
I mean, I'm willing to go with Magner on this.
Sure.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, take it out.
Right. I'll like hold on to the ring. And then I'll just start tapping the machine itself. And then see what it writes.
So like you're holding the ring in one hand and just tapping and poking the machine with the other.
Yep.
It writes a description of Magnar holding the ring, approaches a word you don't recognize, and begins to tap it with his hand while holding the ring. It describes Anna East standing nearby. Garth describes Garth standing nearby. While Magnar's description continues to tap that strange word.
Do I recognize the word because I speak Mythic? Or is it not Mythic?
It is in Primordial.
Oh, I speak Primordial and Mythic.
I forgot about that. I didn't actually name the device. But basically it's
placeholder.
This is not the sonophone.
No, this is a scry transcriber.
Printer.
The scry driver.
Yeah, the scry driver.
It's Kyle. It's called Kyle. We'll call it Kyle.
Right. Let's see.
We'll say it's a pendulum of the infinite eye.
Pendulum of the infinite. Right. Good. And then we'll go.
That's what the word translates to.
Yes.
Basically.
And then Magnar pulls out a notebook and then starts sort of pointing at different, like the wax discs, the horns, the needle, and then just looking at everything that gets written down as he's pointing at
it describes you using a sonophone, tapping of the sonophone and sending discs, and anything that isn't these two devices when you tap, it just describes the way the object looks.
Okay.
With you're smart enough and have enough arcana and intelligence to know that the device that's writing only had the information that the Ishgardians that made it had. So everything else is just describing as best as it can physically.
Right. Well, that tells me some things. But the sending discs and the sonogram. Okay. Right, you can pop this back in the box, but I'm just going to take these.
And like sending discs and sonophone were all in primordial.
Yeah, I'm going to take these couple of
So-
sheets, and you can put the ring back in the box now if you like.
And we destroy it?
What, the machine?
Yes.
I mean, I don't see why not. It's also probably priceless. I don't think we can really take it and sell it or anything, but I think in the wrong hands, which it currently has been in.
Can I
None of you have seen anything like these two.
Can I
devices.
disassemble it?
Maybe that.
Take it, just take it, just get it out of here, just get it.
Just make an intelligence check for me as you're glancing at it.
Don't break it. Just take it, please.
Oh, why have I got the +4 on there?
That was also a save.
That was an intelligence save. That's why. Yes.
Well, I mean, you don't have intelligence save proficiency, so it's the same thing. But
19.
Okay. So the pendulum of the infinite eye actually looks like the pendulum can be detached from the thing that it's hanging on and kind of worn as a necklet or bracelet or just kept in a bag. And its supports and the arm all fold up, and you can trim the paper and latch it onto the bottom so it folds up into basically a book that you can carry and then pull out when you want to activate it. The sonophone, however, does not look like it is meant to be collapsed or taken apart. And it looks like it's been jury rigged to function. Like, as far as you can tell, it was probably found damaged and then repaired with modern equipment and enchanting mechanisms. And the modern enchantments and stuff used to repair it are not holding up to the magic that it uses.
I think that thing's going to fall apart by itself in the not too distant future. But this, this I will fold up and take away and study, if nobody objects.
And take it, just take it, just it's fine.
I think it might be a good thing to study. I don't think it doesn't give us the answer we need about the ring yet, but I feel like we're on the right track with everything that's in here. And there's still that room that we haven't looked in. So there still could be other answers.
And I think that's where we're going to call it for today.
Okay.
And we'll pick up next week with you guys finishing investigating Gille's basement. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you guys for playing. It's always wonderful having everybody here. Thank you to all of our viewers and Patreons and producer Nick. Thank you to Mythical Family for being our best friends through this whole endeavor. And it's great to have you guys all here. And with that, I think we'll say good night and say goodbye to everyone. So say good night, Gille.
Good night, Gille.
Right,
No.
Jill.
Fuck you.
And on that note,
Ditch.